Good day, everyone. Good day. Welcome to another episode of DOTAG. And this is I don't know. Should I always say every of my episode is a special episode. Well, this is the first time we'll be having a returning guest on our episode. On this episode, I have Shogo Ogundowole. He was part of the set of people that was in episode 12, the first guests that I had in the year. A couple of friends we discussing and all that. So I I had it in mind that I was going to bring him back and we discussed some interesting thing uh, today. And I'm happy he's here with me, Shogo. Thanks for coming around. We appreciate it.
Hi, Ife.
Yeah,
Hi, everyone. Good to be back here. Thank you for bringing me back. I'm excited to be here
yeah,
again.
yeah. That's good. Really, that's even to let me give you an update. Like the last episode that you did, that you were around, the episode I can say is still like the most trending episode on out of all the episodes I've done since, like the very beginning.
Interesting. That's really nice. We need to send the good news to the whole team so that they can see that their work is
Yeah, what is
effective.
people are literally listening to them, and it's anytime I just look at the numbers and I'm like, okay, this is good, this is good. Okay, I
Nice.
think I might need to do a bit more of guest episodes and all that. So, and, this is part of it. So I'm bringing you back, and I want us to just have a bit of discussion on financial responsibility, right? A
Mm,
lot of people have different ideas on what financial responsibility means. To me, what I feel is more or less like living within your means, right? Regardless of what you earn, no matter what, like just being able to live within your means, basically. So that this is what I can afford, this is my lifestyle. That's you're financially
mm,
responsible to that. You are not going outside of your boundaries in that sense to live a
mhm.
comfortable life, right? So that's just where me I sense what financial responsibility is. So I want you to be able to maybe shed a bit more light on that, like for a 26-year-old guy. I'm talking about myself now.
Mhm.
What do you think financial responsibility should mean
Mhm.
to me? Yeah.
Yeah. So financial responsibility is is a lot, but to simplify it is it's as simple as like basically being responsible with your finances, as simple as that. And when it comes to being responsible with your finances, um, the first thing about finance, right? There is no responsibility if there's no source of income. So the first means of being responsible at all is to ensure that you actually find a means of income. That is the first thing. And a lot of people read books. You read like Rich Dad Poor Dad. You read Think and Grow Rich, and all of this amazing, the philosophy of money. A lot of these like very phenomenal books, but if you are reading all those books and you don't actually have like a means of income, a source of income, I mean, you are just, you are full of ideas, but those ideas, like they're not going to be useful. So, like anything at all, when it comes to financial responsibility, is finding something to do. Now, like it could be anything. Like there are different opportunities nowadays that people leverage. Like it could be online, it could be offline, it could be literally anything. But you need to ensure that something is coming into you and you're not just full of ideas and you're not implementing. So that's the first level of financial responsibility. Now, the other levels, which is very popular, is which you have also talked about, is being able to manage yourself within your income or being able to manage your income wisely. So, and that is very important. Not just managing your income wisely, I would say managing finances wisely because the only, or let me say, it's not only your income that you should manage. You should be able to manage every money, every like anything that's is sort of like money that comes to you. You should be able to manage it generally. So, and it's not, of course, only income that comes to you. So, somebody gifts you, you you make maybe a passive income, you have like an actual source of income or actual sources of income, and a couple of other things like that. So you need to be able to manage everything together so that you would actually be, you actually be like a you you would actually appreciate yourself, because when it comes to management of finance, like you're doing it for yourself. Honestly, you're doing it for yourself, you're doing it for your sanity. So yeah, like that's just my 2 cents, or like financial responsibility as a whole.
Yeah, because literally the reason why I asked was that, and I said that as a 26-year-old guy, right, at this stage of my life, or at this stage of somebody that is 26-year-old or in that age range, right, is the age of, okay, I want to explore, right, what's going on in the world, how can I be a part of what is going on in the world, you get my point. And I want to be able to in that sense enjoy, like, I don't know, do you get my, like, that's like where the height of enjoyment comes to play. Like I want to, being part of the latest set of things. I want to, be trending, trending in the sense I want to have, maybe if I have the opportunity to get a car, I want to get a very nice car. If I want to um stay in an apartment, I need to stay in an apartment that is good. I need to, be able to live very comfortably, right, in that sense. So, and you have a source of income and you're trying to be very financially responsible, but still you still want to enjoy all this stuff, all these good things in life. And I know one of the major things that's financial responsibility, that works with financial responsibility, is discipline. Now, so it's not like people don't budget, right? Say, okay, we're even going to talk about budgeting, right? It's not like people don't do this budgeting and all, but I think what happens is people don't get to stay with it. They're not disciplined enough to be able to stay with it. And I think cracking that act of discipline is one of the things that I feel is going to make people more financially responsible. That discipline, being able to say, okay, this is what I've planned, and let me follow according to it. Come what may, because I know, right? It's not all the time what you have planned that usually come to play, right? I know that you might have planned that, okay, this year this is the amount I want to make, this is the amount I want to save, but a lot of things can just happen, and you'll be like, okay, you just have to be able to maybe want to adjust. But by the time you're adjusting, you're not, in a way, you're not following that plan anymore. In a way, it looks like you're losing that sense of discipline too. And these things will come to you as very, very, very important important things, more or less. For example, like commitments, like you need to make some set of commitment to some set of people, and those things come to you and you're like, okay, I need to answer this person, I need to be able to help this person. And someone say, okay, please help me with this, I need that, but you have already budgeted yourself, and it looks like, it happens to me. Someone comes to me and like, please, if I need this thing, can you help me with this and all that. I know at that point I'm not financially capable, but I can squeeze something out. But me squeezing something out is going to affect a lot of other things. So me not being able to give the person has this sense of emotional blackmail. To me that, if somebody asks you for something, you can never help the person. You get that kind of. But and I'm also, but I'm trying to be financially responsible. I'm trying to discipline myself. But a lot of things is just, trying to shake me off that determination of being disciplined. What do you think one can do to stay disciplined when it comes to financial responsibility?
Okay. So, you said a lot of things, and I'm actually penning them down. But the core of what you've said basically is financial discipline, and where I see your like what you're saying tending towards is like, basically the summary is black tax, right? Black tax is basically you are making money, and like people are feeling entitled to, like, you need to actually maybe dole out some bills to some people, like, okay, maybe family, friends. Khalid was mentioning something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah. You
on
did,
the
you did.
last. Yeah. So basically, black tax, right? But I'll not see it as black tax. I'll just say generally. That would always come when it comes to finance. You've said it, like financial discipline is very important, and when it comes to discipline. We are. Let me talk about discipline first before I go to financial discipline. We are complex beings, and we tend not to be. We are not built to be overly rigid. I'm not saying we should not be disciplined. Discipline is good, but flexibility should be allowed as much as you are disciplined. I have a schedule that I work with every day, but of course, there are other things that may come up that okay, I may need to switch the time I'm supposed to read to do something very important. Maybe I need to go to the mechanic, or maybe I need to go to the bank. Something like that may come up, but I already have a plan that I have to follow. So when things like that come up, of course, I need to maybe like sacrifice the time for something else entirely, right? So I need to be flexible with my plan. I don't say that okay, this is I'm supposed to read. I don't change it for anything, and other things are suffering. My car is bad. I need to go to the mechanic. I need to go to the bank. I have to go to the hospital. Like a lot of things like that, right? But you need to be flexible. Now, flexibility is not being lackadaisical. Flexibility or being negligent. Flexibility is basically adjusting and adapting to the situation per time, because you need to do other things. Now, when it comes to financial discipline, definitely. And financial discipline, when it comes to financial discipline, you need to be a little bit more rigid than you have with maybe a daily schedule or a monthly schedule or whatnot, right? You need to be more a little bit more rigid. You could be flexible, but you need to be a little bit more rigid. And the reason is because um, once you budget or once you allocate your finance to different things, you need to ensure that you sort of stick to it, because for instance, let me say we're still going to I think we should still get to a part where we maybe I talk about breakdown of like
Mm-hmm.
how I maybe do like a personal stuff.
Yeah.
Let's say you've allocated, let's say, 10,000 naira to buy fuel every week, for instance, petrol for your car or motorbike or whatever it is, or let me say 10,000 naira for transport. Now you also allocate maybe 5,000 naira for food. I'm just giving these values on top of my head. Now, you have a loved one that comes and says, and that is like your miscellaneous is already we are already left with miscellaneous of maybe let's say 500 naira, 500 naira miscellaneous. Now you have a loved one who comes to you say, if I need like 2K, I'm really I've not eaten today, and um like there's sorry, I can't there's nothing I can do right now. Now you live in Oshodi, and every day you need to take maybe BRT, or you need to take like bus, or let's say Uber or whatever, to you work in Lekki every day. You need to go to Lekki every day with this transport. If you are going to even take Uber, maybe it's one day to last year. At least Oshodi to Lekki right now, but I'm just trying to paint a picture, right?
Yeah, I get you.
Now you need to look at, my transport is 10K, my food is 5,000. Somebody is coming to ask me for 2,000 naira from what I've already allocated budget for. If I'm a nice guy, I like to give people things, right? But if I remove 2,000 naira from this 10,000 naira, I am going to be the one to, so I'm going to be trekking to Lekki every week or
Yeah.
every day. Do you
Mm.
understand? But the reason we do not picture it like this most times. We look at it, his money is much now. Like I've allocated 100K, right, to this thing. So I can remove 2,000 naira from it, or I can remove 10,000 naira from it. It does not really affect anything per se. Like we're still good. Now, and that is where we come to the budget you are doing, right? You need to ensure that it is properly measured, so that when you say that you are allocating 10,000 naira to food, you know that you actually, if you remove 100 naira from that 10,000 naira, it's going to affect the food, your food or your bill for food for that month is going to affect you. If you remove 500 naira from your transport, it's going to shake. So you need to do a very measurable budgeting, that you're not just saying okay, budgeting 100K, and maybe your what you need actually is like 60K for budget, so you have like extra 40K. So at that point, you already have a lot, and it is easy for you to just remove money from it. So your budgeting becomes, you're not going to be disciplined with it in that way, because you do not see any reason why you should not remove from it. So even at one point you can even use your money for transport to buy gala on the road, because you feel like, maybe I still have like extra 10K inside of this. Do you understand? I'm still going to talk about buffers when it comes to budgeting. Of course, you should add buffers to your budget. Like anything could come up, there could be increase in price. Look at where we are right now in Nigeria, where like naira is like 1,300. And
Mm,
last week it was maybe 1,100. Like we're
mm.
just moving at a geometric progression, right? That's the only thing moving at a geometric progression in the country, anyways. Um,
It's crazy, man. Honestly.
so look at it like your budget is not, you way you've budgeted already is not even disciplined. So you already have like a very loose budget. There is no structure and fencing around your budget. So you can easily remove from it. I will share examples I've had, when I just started working, and a few years ago, and now I was earning like more than I was supposed to earn, at least for maybe my age or my level as at that time. And I was having excessive money, and people will come to me, I need this thing, you give them. I need this one, you give them. But I got to a point where people will borrow money. There are people today, right? Some of them may even listen to this. There are people today that do not talk to me again because they borrowed money and they refuse to return it. And when I went to ask them, they felt entitled that, why would I actually want to collect the money back, because I actually earn more than this. Like maybe I earn like times 10, or I earn like times 20 of this. Why would I
Mm,
want to collect the money back, that
back. Mm,
this money that I'm more than this now? And I had to sit down and think about it, that okay, if I continue like this, I probably maybe will not even have any friends in the coming future, because
mm,
everybody just be collecting,
mm.
borrowing. I've been in a place where I lent somebody my school fees before. I could not pay. My parents must not listen to this.
Oh my god.
you know, it was
Wow.
very bad, because I feel like I'm a nice person,
Mm,
and my dad like sort of giving me money for my hostel, money for my school fees, my school fees rather, and um, I. I had it in my account. Like this was like maybe 7 or 6 years ago. I can't remember. And the person, because I liked the person, right? He was like a person that, he was really close, and I felt like, if I give him, I trust him, right? We are
mm.
close.
Sorry, bro.
And to my dismay, to my surprise, the time for resumption was here. He didn't pay. The time for late registration or late
Yeah.
payment was here. Like it didn't, like it was almost like it was about to close. I had to now start borrowing myself, like
Mm,
calling my flatmates, calling friends in class, that this is the situation I am right now.
mm.
And I'm in a deep mess, right? I need your help. I borrow somebody money, and the person, and the funny thing, till today, he did not pay back. Till today, he did not pay that money back. Now,
Mm.
if I and like this is a very, like he used the money to go and do, I think, forex or something. Like he went to use the money for
Seriously.
forex, and a lot. Yeah. So all these things combined, I can share multiple stories why I have given myself sense when it comes to money and being nice to people, right? And one of the first rules, which is a very popular rule for many people, anyways, is I don't borrow. Sorry, one, I don't like to borrow money. That's one. As much as possible, I live within my means. Secondly, I don't lend money to people that I cannot give. So if you ask me for, let's say, I don't know, maybe 100,000 now, for instance. If I don't, if I mean, I look at a lot. I worked in a risk modeling company before, right? So I look at a couple of things and say, okay, can this person actually pay back this money that he's asking for? That's one. Two, can I even afford, at this my level? Can I afford this 100K? For a very long time, I don't think I was even going to say that I can borrow somebody maybe 50K. I don't think so. So I don't look at my income as a yardstick of borrowing somebody money. I look at it as, can I bear the risk of 50K? Can I bear the risk of 10K? Can I bear the risk of, that's the way I look at it. So by the time this person does not pay back, I'm not running a skater and trying to maybe commit suicide or fight anybody. So if you come to meet me that you want to borrow 100K, I look at that. Can this person actually, can I bear
Pay
the
back.
risk of this 100K? If I cannot bear the risk of 100K, right, I can say, okay, in your 100K, I cannot, I don't have 100K, but I have, see, it's going to sound ridiculous now. I have 5,000 naira to see. It's not like, see, let me tell you,
Mm.
right? When it comes to finance, you come first. Honestly, you come first. No, the Bible says, love your neighbor as what?
As yourself. True, true, true,
Now,
true.
listen. So, as what? Yourself. You are a template for loving your neighbor. So, you need to have loved yourself first, right? Before you can even love your neighbor. So if you don't love yourself, you most likely will not know how to love your neighbor. Are you seeing the light? So when I bring that to finance, I need to be able to say that, hmm, I come first when it comes to my finance. If today I give you this 100K, by tomorrow I will not be somebody that will be able to give you 100K again. I want to stay in a place where you are not the only person that needs help, right? And another person tomorrow may not be 100K they need, it may be 20,000 naira they need, maybe 5,000 naira they need. I want to be in a place where I will still be able to help the person that needs the 5,000. If I help only you, right, and I put myself in a mess where I'm not able to help other people, what is like, does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. So you need to put yourself in a place where you don't end up like in a, I know I'm talking too much
No, no,
and
no, no.
dwelling
It's
too much
fine.
on
It's
this
fine. It's fine.
commitment
Go
to
on.
people, but no, people have made mistake a lot when it comes to like borrowing. You are too nice. You want to give this person money. I'm nice, but I'm also like sort of very careful with lending people money or giving people money or trying to create sense of entitlement for people that are, they are entitled to what you have. Or no, you come first. So when somebody is saying you should come and help, there will always be people to help, but you know one thing, you cannot help everybody. That is the truth. You need to tell yourself that truth, that you cannot help everybody. In fact, there will be time, do you know what if you didn't have the money? Will the person not find another means of paying that particular bill at that particular time? So unless, so we will come to different compartments of finances or personal finances, but like look at it, right? You give somebody your transport for for the month. You give somebody says he needs 100K, you give the person your transport for the month. Now what happens to you? You will not be in a, you have to now start trekking from Oshodi to Lekki every day, which one does not even make sense. You know, I've been in a situation where I gave somebody money to organize a program. I think this was like 7 or 8 years ago, to organize a program, right? And I could not afford to eat. Like, it was a pocket money. It was a combined pocket money from my friend and I. We combined money. We gave them to go and do program, right? It was a foundation. We gave them. We sowed seed into the foundation, and we were drinking rainwater.
Yeah.
we were we were literally, see, so let me tell you, we're drinking rainwater. We could not afford to buy pure water. Now I felt sick because I was not used to drinking. I was not, my parents already given me my pocket money, but I had to, I was nice. I gave somebody else this money. Now some of these things sometimes, it comes to like understanding some, because this is a very arguable point, like when, especially if you bring it to the perspective of Christianity, sowing seeds and whatnot. I don't even want to go to that because like I don't want to cause I don't want to cause disarray for your I don't want to,
Uh,
let's just leave it here. But
I
you need
got
to
you.
be very very yeah, you need to be very shrewd. You need to be very smart when you're the Bible. If in fact, if you want to go with the Bible, right? The Bible even says that seed to the sower, bread to the eater. Make of that whatever you want to make of that, please. I will not explain, right? Seed to the sower, bread to the eater. That means you must create compartments for your finance. You must. It's not every money you can give. It's not every you can't just remove money for your transport and give somebody. You can't remove money your for your from your savings and just give some from your emergency funds and just give somebody. No, you shouldn't do that. You need to, and that's why you need to measure it. I know how much fuel I need in a week. Like I have a plan for how much fuel I need in a week. I can't come and give. If I give you the money for me, how will I go to church? How will I go to different places I need to go to? How will I travel? Right? So you need to create that compartment. Of course, you can create a you can I know people who even create. In fact, I think it's part of the things. Okay, for me, I do it in a different way, but I know people who create giveaway in part of their as part of their finance plan. Like giveaway is a
Mm,
financial compartment for them. That okay, once this 10K finish this month, oh,
it's,
pari I'm not
that's
giving
it.
anybody anything again. Like
Mm,
I block because by the time I give you, it's not stinginess. You know that, and this is some of the principles that rich people actually follow, right? That you not look at that our uncle is very stingy. Oh. Your uncle is actually not stingy. You will not look up to him if he was spending anyhow. Do you know there are a lot of people that earn so high and they eventually look at people that earn lottery that win lotteries in the US, in other countries and whatnot, and in North America, right? They win lotteries, they can win 60 million now, for instance, and within a very short time, boost, the 60 million is nowhere to be found anymore, right? So because there is no compartment, there is no measure to anything. You're just flowing with the vibes, right? And that is not like if you don't have measurable finance, like measurable compartments, like I need 30K for food per week, I need 10K for transport per week, you will actually not be able to, for people that are serving, right? You are serving in Lagos, for instance. That 33K, by the time you plan, you discover that 33K might not even
I
might
never
not take
come
you
out
to office.
exactly. True, true,
Yeah.
true.
So people don't even sit down sometimes to actually like design something to look up to. And when they design that thing, it's not measurable. They just say, okay, 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 okay. This one let me put 50K here. And
Okay.
this one let me put 10K here.
Yeah.
So you measure it.
Yeah. Sure. So just to cut you in a bit, because from what you're saying now, it looks like being financially responsible is more like being future thinking, right? You should be able to think about the future, right? So it's not only necessary about the present. Now it's an issue I have, right? Now this is me just being very open on all. I have this issue of it's not like I don't plan for the future. Of course, I know what I want to do in the future and what I how I want to go about it. But I give more priority to the present than the future. So it's a I think that balance one needs to be able to find that balance because like I feel okay, this is what is happening at the present. The future, I know, yeah, this is what I want to do in the future, or this is my plan for the future. And I have this mindset that things change, right? But if somebody, as I said, if somebody comes to meet me and said they have an issue, okay, do you want to do this? I need an help from you, stuff like that. Then what happens is I look at I know it might be a very wrong perspective to being financially responsible, but this is just the way me I think, and I'm not saying it's the right way. I look at what's happening now. Okay, how much you need from me? You said you need maybe like 5K or stuff. I sent 5K to you. Right. Like in the good of my because I have that 5K present, I will send you either I've planned it or I've not planned it or I'll send you the 5K. It has solved your own issue. Now I would what I now do is I now do like a rebudgeting or what is not available next. So as I said, I know it's a wrong perspective, but this is the way it has been for me. And one of the reasons why I even brought you in is not just only to um, talk to people, it's also to help correct that mindset for me, right? I love to help people in any capacity I find myself. If I can be of help to you, I'll do it because I feel because the way it is like this money at hand. Who needs it more? Do I need it more than this person? That's the way I see it. So I'm like, okay, I think this person needs it more than me. It's not that because you just come to meet me, I'll not give you. No, I have to look at okay. I think this person genuinely needs this money. Then I'll give the person. I don't mind if I do the trekking and all, but as I said, it's not the right mindset to have. So, how do you think one can balance?
Yeah, yeah, I get
Uh,
you. So When it comes to saying the future is also relative, right? If I say I'll see in the future, can you? So if I say I'll see in the future, for instance, future could be tomorrow, future could be next week, future could be in 2 days' time, right? But when we talk about the future is it's like the time after now. Now, speaking of like somebody coming and they need help urgently and that problem needs to be solved ASAP, right? I feel like yes, you could help people, but not at your detriment. Like, don't help people at your detriment. And when I say at your detriment, it also comes with your discretion, where you have to weigh situations. Now, for instance, if it is a life or death issue, um, of course, may need to make sacrifices and whatnot. But if it's not a life or death issue, you need to look at it first. And because the way it really works is the reason somebody is coming to you to ask you for that help at that particular time is because they've seen that okay, maybe this person earns or this person looks like oh they make this particular amount of money or and whatnot. Now the thing now comes here, if five people come to you for help within a very short time, what is going to happen? Are you going to help the five people and re-strategize 5 times? By the time you are re-strategizing the fifth time, you may not have anything left. So you think about, if there are five of these people coming to meet me now and I have to help all of them, or if this person comes to me 5 times and I have to help him or help her 5 times, will my re-strategizing still make sense for me? Will I not die before the time? I wrote something about I wrote something about harvest and sowing like last week, or I think, where I was talking about you actually don't increase by keeping your seeds. You increase by actually sowing your seeds. But you should actually not also um, you should actually not also die before the time of your harvest because you need to eat. So you know that okay, some seed or some of my income or some of my money needs to go into food, while some of my income needs to go into something else. So by the time somebody is really coming, honestly, this thing is coming like it's perspective. It's the way we view it. And I know that most of us we came from very generous homes. Like we have like parents that are very nice. Like they can I can speak for myself. I can speak for my parents could literally give like our whole food to somebody else and not consider what we eat tomorrow, right?
Mm, yeah.
They're so nice. That's the way they don't really care. Like they just see that this person needs it more than me, Jerry. Let me just give them. Then tomorrow morning, we're like, okay, what are we
Mama
going to? What
Java.
exactly was your plan when you gave this food? You gave a whole
Uh,
bag of rice to somebody yesterday. So what was your plan? And that's like some of the ways that they taught, and some of the things I actually learned a lot from my parents when it comes to finance. Like that's the way they taught, right? And I I sort of picked out being nice and giving people money and all of that from them, but I had to think that okay, if you want to really remains you need to be stable. Financial responsibility is one of the goals of financial responsibility is to make you stable. When it comes to finance, being stable does not mean that you are earning $500,000 per month. That's not being stable. You could be earning 100,000 naira. The first goal of financial responsibility is that you are stable. You could be earning 100,000 naira per month, right? And that 100,000 naira has been stretched into different things that are important in your life, such that that 100,000 naira is enough to cater for your needs and you still have some crumbs left to handle other miscellaneous. That's it. So the day you start earning 500,000 naira, you already have a template of stability. And that is what happens to many people when they start. So somebody earning 50K right now, then boom, He gets an international job. He's earning 600,000 naira, or he's earning 700,000 naira, or he's earning 2 million naira. And the next thing is he doesn't even know what to. He's confused. For the first alert landslide, he's confused. The next thing he wants to get the latest MacBook.
Mm.
The next thing he wants to get the latest iPhone. He wants to compete with people that maybe they have been earning that 2 million naira or 5 million naira per month. He doesn't even know maybe what some people are earning, but so far he sees that this person is a tech person, or this person is um a forex person, or whatever it is the person is doing. I want to also be like so. A lot lands like this is already thinking. Hoo, 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 hoo. You don't, so there is nothing on ground. The brain is just wired to spend. The brain is just wired to give. So the next thing is writing a check of, or is sending, not check now, maybe sending like 200,000 first to his babe, or
I decide,
her babe.
I decided to sow seed in
Or
foundation.
still seeing the foundation. I mean, so the next thing you're ready, you know, and to nice people, right?
Mm,
Have you ever seen somebody who like all these artists, maybe they want to do giveaway for like maybe whiskey to see somebody that danced to their song, or sang their song, or they felt pity for somebody, and whiskey says, okay, come, take 20 million naira, or take 10 million naira, or take this amount. The next thing you see this person does is that immediately they're already transferring, like maybe they've already bought house for their uncle in the village, or they've
mm,
already bought, like, the first thing is not to buy house for somebody when you even get a gift. We even, like, I can talk a lot about gifting. Like, the first thing is not, you need to think about your stability, because whiskey may not come tomorrow to give you that 20 million naira again. So the thing with people is that when you don't have a structure for stability, by the time you earn 10 million naira in a month, the same way you have been squandering your 50K, it's the same way you will squander that 10 million naira. It will go. So you will feel like buying the latest car every week. You will feel like at every paycheck, you will feel like buying the latest, like you will want to just do the latest things. Like every time. You want your nothing is wrong with your car. You want to use like maybe 3 cars or 4 cars. Like you will be thinking from a perspective of like I can afford it, so I should get it. But that is not a perspective of stability. That is the first round of financial responsibility, like stability. We can talk about building wealth. Those things come after. If you are not stable, you cannot build wealth. Even though you are earning $500,000 in a month, if you are not stable, if something is coming to siphon the money from you monthly, weekly, at any point, black tax, I'm nice, foundation, things that are not structured. I'm not saying you should not give. I give. In fact, I give a lot, but I have a structure around giving. Like I know that I am nice, so I don't want a situation whereby I heard somebody says they've not eaten today, or somebody says they want to pay their school fees, or somebody says they want to, like, I know that I can pity you easily and just remove from my own pocket and just go and give you my own money. So when it comes to, like, the future is relative, that's the first thing, and you need to be financially. That is the first goal. You need to be financially stable, and to this, you might need to. It may sound like you are harsh. You may be thinking, what people say, what people think about me.
mm.
People will not. The day you are not financially stable, nobody will come and ask you for money again. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
true.
That's the
That's
way it
true.
works. Nobody will
Mm.
give you. People care about you when you have the money. You will discover that even the people that are close, that are coming, guy, have you see 5K, guy, have you see 10K, guy, have you see 100K. You will not see anybody the day. God forbid something happens to the job or the source of income. Everybody will run away. They've eaten what they want to eat, and it's not as if they are bad people, but you have nothing to offer at that time again, right? So stability is the first goal of financial responsibility.
Okay. So if now we want to talk about structure now, because you said it's good to be able to build a structure for a stable finance or to be financially stable. So what are like the practical budgeting strategies or practical structures that one can put in place to kind of help with this being financially stable?
Okay, number one, ensure you know how to write down. Like, don't think you don't budget in your mind. You are a deceiver. You are a deceiver if you budget in your. You know, like, my salary has come now. 50K will go to uh,
Mm.
this thing. Maybe that's my tithe.
Yeah,
Another 10K will go to
I think
food.
I think
Another.
I fall victim of that a lot. Well,
Confess your
honestly.
sins. The priest is here. Don't worry. Confess your sins.
Oh man.
I mean,
But,
so you don't budget in your mind. That's the first thing with budgeting. You don't think budgeting. You pen down budgeting. You write down just like goals. You write. You don't think your goals. You don't. Have you ever seen it? You are a product designer. Have you ever seen where the product requirements comes and the product manager just comes here today, the product requirement is in my mind and I want to share it with you, so let me just voice it out, and they just voice it out to you and you just carry it and go and design it. It doesn't work like that. The reason you pen it down is so that you can reiterate, you can reflect. It can be something that you can reflect on. You don't see, when it comes to meditation and reflection, it is easier when you've penned things down. When you've That's why you don't go to a class as a student and just I will get everything from part one to part five. I don't need notes.
mm.
It will sink in my you will sink. Your GP will sink.
Oh god.
I mean,
It's
so
fine.
you don't budget. That's the first thing, right? You don't budget in your mind. You write down. You plan, right? It could be in a book. It could be in an Excel sheet. It could be in a Google Docs. It could be in anything, right? But you ensure that you write down your the things you want to budget. Now,
Okay, I just want you guys to know that the financial structure discussed in this podcast is going to be made available in the podcast description so you guys can have access to it. And back to the podcast.
there are a lot of templates online. People talk about emergency funds. See, your salary, you might be living in Lagos. Your salary may not be able to carry emergency funds. Do you
Mm.
understand? So you may have to cancel out emergency fund and forget about all these. Sometimes you go and be reading big things from people that are earning maybe 10 million naira per year, and or $10 million per year rather, and you be think,
Mm.
let me emergency. See, your salary may not be able to carry. In fact, your salary may not be able to. You may not be able to include giveaway in your salary.
Mm. Yeah, true.
So you need to be able to understand your finance. In fact, the first level of budgeting is understand your basic needs. And your basic needs are your transportation, your feeding. No, sorry, your feeding first, because you need to be alive to be able to transport. Your feeding first, your clothing, and your transportation. You must be able to at least have clothes you can wear to work if you're a working person, if you're a working class. You must be able to have food to eat. You must be able to at least say, from this my salary, I can eat. If it is 1 square meal, your salary can afford, okay. If it is 2 square meal, good. If you can afford brunch, if you have got to a level where you're already buga, you can be affording brunch, good for you. You can be affording dunch and whatever in between, good for you. I don't know, right?
Oh god.
But you
Yeah.
understand your basic needs first. My feeding, my clothing, my transportation, my housing, right? You don't. One of the rules, right? People have asked me that, I should go. Why? Where you are living? You are living in the village. Why are you living where you are living? See,
Mm.
my siblings have spoken to me that if I come to so place, if I live in VI, for instance, if I live in Lekki, that I will just pay the amount they call the house rent right now for me. I believe that is even times 10 of what I currently pay per year. Like it's times 10, literally times 10. Now,
Yeah.
if I take like I'm only paying 1/10 of what I'm supposed to go and be paying in VI or Lekki right now. I'm paying it. I'm not saying you should live where I'm living. I'm just saying, see, understand yourself, right? You may need to live in Lekki because of like other reasons that are very, very genuine. Like I'm not saying Lekki is bad or anything, or VI is bad. Like live wherever you want to live. But for me right now, I understand that if I live in that place, I'm going to pay, even though I can remove it and okay, it looks like okay, it's going to be okay, and I'm going to be okay. But nine, I'm going to pay extra 9/10 that I'm currently channeling to other things.
Yeah. True.
Currently channeling to other things. So I need to think from that perspective. I need to be able to look at, like, what are my basic needs first? Like my housing. Can I afford this housing that I've put this place I'm trying to live right now? Can I afford to pay the rent? Like if anything happens tomorrow, my house, my landlord times two just says comes all of a sudden say, times two of this rent. Will I
Mm.
be able to remove the times two from my pocket?
Mm.
Inflation is currently in the country, and that is bound to happen. So if my landlord comes tomorrow and say, I want to times three, can I remove times three? This year, my landlord actually increased my house rent. And when
Mm.
he told me, I didn't even argue with him. It was very small amount on top of it. Immediately he was saying it, I didn't even argue. I just sent him the money. I said,
mm,
please, I need my receipts. Just send me my receipts. It is very easy for me right now to pay my house rent. I'm not scratching my head or running a tasketa like my house rent. It was just a very tiny fraction of my salary that I used to pay it,
mm,
and my place is really okay for me, like very okay for me, like very okay for me. And I'm able to set up a workspace. I have a room to myself. I have a living room. Like I have like guest room. I have like bedroom for myself. If I want to get this kind of place in Lagos, right?
mm.
Mm,
Yeah, true.
I'm not even talking of VI or Lekki now. You want to get it in other places, even in
Mm,
the mainland. Like
yeah.
you know that it's gonna be a lot of money. So I have considered that okay for the and if I even got this place, I was living in a I don't want to say a worse in a worse place. It's not that it
Mm,
was worse, but it was like a lesser place than this. Like, and I was there for a very long time. When everybody was, which is not bad. When I saw like people that were in my circle were living in better places, like people come and greet me, and it was a very funny. People always laugh that look at where you are living. My living room was a workshop, like because we were working on a startup then. My living
mm,
room was a workshop. You will see like drones and stuff, and
mm,
you see spanner and all of those. I didn't have a living room, so there was no TV or anything in the living room. You just walk in. You have to come to my room if you want to see me. I had to live under that condition for that time because I understood my finance. And when I saw that, okay, I needed to leave this place and I could afford, looking at my finance, right, I could afford a better place. I
mm,
gave it a shot. So I'm not saying you should live in a very, maybe you should be eating sand or
mm,
be living in maybe Leabero or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. Enjoy your money, but understand your basic needs. Once you understand your basic needs, live you now start looking at okay, what are the other compartments? So basic needs now I've mentioned your transportation, your feeding, your clothing, your house rent, right? Those are your basic needs. Then the next thing you need to look at now is what are the other nice to haves. Now under nice to haves, that's where you have uh, okay, in fact, I'll not. Okay, nice to have. That's where you have things like giveaway, for instance. Let me start with that. Giveaway. Now, this giveaway is supposed to be the last thing that will come, but let me just put it here. Giveaway. You have under your giveaway, under your nice to haves, you have like I'll put personal savings under nice to haves because there are sometimes your salary. We should tell the truth. If you live in some places, your salary they may not be personal savings per se.
mm,
Depending, and I'm trying to talk to. I don't know what the audience looks like, right?
yeah,
I'm trying to talk to a very large audience.
yeah.
So I'm considering people that have low incomes right now, and I'm considering people that are earning a lot. So personal savings it may not be nice to have for someone that is earning a lot. Do you understand?
Mm,
But for somebody that maybe is earning maybe 30K and maybe is a maybe a primary or nursery school teacher in maybe in a very remote place, you may not be able to see personal savings. It may just be enough for me to hit, enough for me
mm,
to transport, enough for me to. Do you understand? So
yeah.
sometimes we'll try as much as possible to be carving out things that we read in big books. You are reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and you are going to enter into debt, and you are a Nigerian. You
Yeah,
think you
spamming.
are smart. You are reading Robert Kiyosaki. You think you are smart. Okay, let's leave that for now. So personal savings, right? Under your personal savings, other expenses. Now these other expenses are now where you will put things like the random things you want to get. So things that are not really the major thing. I don't know. That could be anything literally. That could
Mm-hmm,
be maybe. In fact, you can bring clothing because some people they are okay. Their clothes once a year is when they buy clothes. Maybe
mm-hmm,
I don't know. You can have like clothing once a year and you're good, right? So some people other expenses could be clothing. For instance, it could be getting of your other things that are related to just help you live a decent life, right?
mm,
That is I'm speaking this is going out to like maybe your salary is like okay just okay for you, right? You
yeah.
can now start looking at like other things, right? Because you want to ensure that you are stable and your basic needs are like the core of being stable. Now these other expenses too will now lead to like maybe if your money can afford Netflix, it's not compulsory you do Netflix, so it's under expenses.
Yeah.
Netflix, Spotify. You are earning 30K and you're subscribing from Spotify. I don't know if you're that's a wise decision, sha. I'm just saying. Nothing is wrong with any
Mm,
30K, right? Nothing
mm,
is wrong with any 50K and whatnot. But you need to consider some things. So by the time you do all your calculations, if you see that it makes sense to subscribe for Spotify, you need to subscribe for Spotify, subscribe for Prime, subscribe for Showmax, good for you. Now, no other expenses is a lot. Like you can
mm,
talk about a lot of things, right? Under the other expenses. Now, then I'll go to investments. Now, investment, and the reason I'm ordering this way is because and like your basic needs come first. Your basic needs come first. But these things I'm mentioning are personal savings, other expenses, investments, they come in no order. I'm not saying
yeah.
that this is after this is this. There's no like particular order to it. So other personal savings, other expenses, like you use your discretion to prioritize because the mistake people have made most times when they are writing financial books and when people are reading financial books is that they generalize and what is working for somebody in the UK, see, might not work for you
Mm,
because the system there is totally different. So you are listening to somebody that is in a credit card system where they just chook card inside something and they don't have money, they buy things.
mm.
It is you don't you have a debit card.
God.
When there is no money, there is no
No
money.
money.
So the person writing book, the person is in North America, the person that have never Africa is like a country to him. He doesn't even know
Oh,
that the countries in Africa. You are
mm,
coming, he's writing a book, you are reading it, and you are applying it directly. You need to
mm,
understand it's personal finance.
yeah.
So you need to know what really works for you. You need to know how you order it. So I go to investments, right? So investments could be literally anything. It could be, I don't want to mention apps here, right?
Mm,
It could be any of these investment apps that you have. You could put your money in dollars, you could put your money to buy stocks, you could even trade forex, you could do a couple of other things. You could even be like your investment is a passive income. Maybe on the side you sell something, maybe it's going to your other business, right?
yeah.
You can add this to under investment because your other business is returning some sort of ROI to you, right? There's some sort of returns on investment rather on your other income. So you can say that okay, the money I receive from my salary, I'm using it to do my donuts business, right?
Mm,
As you that are selling donuts, right?
yeah.
So the money that you are getting from your stuff, you're putting it in other business. Maybe you are doing a laundromat, you are doing you have a depot for soft drinks and whatnot. So like that is under investment. Now, working with this basic one, what I just explained here is enough for you to be stable and financially prudent.
Mm.
What I just explained, this simple
The
template here.
structure. Yeah.
The only thing is that the structure here, this basic structure, is enough for you to now say that okay, you have sort of like a stable system. Now, if you now want to go further, maybe you can afford it. You can now start thinking of emergency funds, right? Under emergency funds, that's emergency funds basically is like money multiplicity of your salary in like months. So let's say take my so multiplicity like you say 3 months salary, right? Saved somewhere so
Yeah.
that maybe there's a layoff or retrenchment or retrenching or whatever it is, right? Maybe anything could happen in your workplace. Maybe the industry even dies, right? Look
Mm,
at blockchain, for instance. I'm not saying blockchain is dead, but you know what happened to blockchain. Sorry to us. So, any of those things could happen, and you don't want a situation where uh, you would start running helters. I've seen people get laid off and they were
they have
literally
nothing to.
stranded because there was
Yeah.
nothing there. Like, so you should be able to sort of carve out this emergency funds at so it's with wisdom. If you're earning 50K and you're able to carve out emergency funds, good. But not everybody. If you're
Mm,
living, I always use Lagos as an instance because it will create. I've lived in Lagos during some of my internships, right? And taking bus from maybe Lekki to maybe Oroshoki or something. or to Yanopaja, you understand by the time you pay for bus like twice, morning and evening, your eyes will clear. You understand that that money is not enough. So, but if you're
Mm,
living maybe like Ife, for instance, 50K can do you a lot of good compared to somebody that is living in Lagos. Maybe you carry 15 naira bus from, I don't know if it's still 15 naira, maybe 100 naira, 150, whatever. You carry bus from maybe Lagere to Ibadan Road, and you just paid 5150 naira. In Lagos, maybe it's 500 or 600 for a single trip. That's like times three or times
mm,
four, right? Ehen.
yeah,
So you need to know that, okay, this might not really work. So emergency funds can come out of 50K, it might not come out of 50K. So you need to know yourself
mm,
and your personal finance around this.
yeah. Sorry to cut you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask that when it comes to this budgeting and all, do you think being accountable to someone works? Accountability works. So I have this plan. I know what I want to do. I've structured things out. Do you think letting somebody else um know about what you're trying to do and someone checking up on you, like, okay, am I actually following through? Because I said one of the things that people struggle with is the financial discipline. It's not like they don't know how to plan. It's not like they don't necessarily want to budget, but the discipline that follows alongside. Somebody that is struggling with financial discipline, do you think accountability might work?
Okay. This is a tricky one because um, when it comes to money, you need to be careful, right? So you you need to be careful, honestly. Accountability to somebody could lead to other things. Um, and somebody is seeing like the way money flows into your account. The person at one point may also feel like I know your financial capability,
Mm,
so I may want to tax you in a particular way. But you if you're ever going to maybe work with someone on your finance, I've done that in the past. I still do something like that, right? But um, you don't just give it anyhow to anybody. Um, the trust level must be above the bar. Like it's not um, up to bar, right?
mm-hmm,
Above the bar.
yeah,
Like you can trust the person with your like for I don't know. I don't want to give any like it's not a financial advice,
mm,
but I like to say that I'm trying to play safe so that you don't come and quote me that I told you that you can
okay.
trust somebody and you need to do your own like you need to accept and people when it comes to money people change like when it comes to money like you can see somebody that not style and maybe the person is even a respectable person in the society. When it comes to money, people enter mud and do like terrible things.
Mm,
So you need to ensure that I don't want to let's go into details. So you need to ensure that whoever it is you want to be accountable to is somebody that you they've proven they have a track record with you personally in terms of trust. So it's not that I'm thinking this person is trustworthy. No, you're not thinking this person is trustworthy. You are sure they have a proven track record when it comes to trust with you. So maybe in other areas, not just money. So in other areas, and yeah, maybe you can give it a shot. Accountability is good, but when it comes to money, Hmm. Money is a tricky thing. So
mm,
the onus, the responsibility most times lies on you. You are the one that knows your pain point. You are the one that knows. So let me quickly speak on this. You need to create a picture of nobody is coming to help me if I mess my finance up. That's the picture I create. And I've created this picture since maybe like I was in 200 level or 300 level. I used to tell people that if I ever share, I don't know if my sister's listening to this, please forgive me. If I if I ever share my story and I mention like maybe Sapa in quotes, like when I was really maybe really 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 broke, right, and I could not afford something, my sisters will be shocked that wait, what are you saying? How exactly? When was that? Like because they could actually, if I told my sister that I needed or my parents I needed anything, they would actually even if they don't have, they go out of their way to look for it and give it to me. And or they should help me to get it or find a way to get it for me. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But I modeled myself. It's not this is advice. This is not an advice, so please don't you may not have to do it, everybody. But I molded myself in such a way that from like 200 level, I started taking responsibility for my finances. Even when I had people that could help me, I tried to start doing things. I was writing, I was tutoring people, I was handling different. I was just trying to make. I'm not saying you should have to. If you have a means, maybe you are born with silver spoon or golden spoon, please embrace it and enjoy. But I wanted to create a sense of financial responsibility for myself because I've always lived in a situation whereby last ball now, like everything was always available for me. And if I continued, I don't think if I had continued the way I was receiving everything from home, if I had stayed like that, I would not have left my comfort zone financially to go out of my way to go through things that will actually help me to build my finance. So I created like a sense of nobody is going to help me. Even though I had people who could help me, I built it from a very like I was literally like broke and really, really broke that. It was really bad. And you will really think that this person is really suffering and there's nobody to. I had people who were at home could help me, but I wanted to build a sense of nobody is coming to help me. This is not an advice for anybody to do. Like enjoy and embrace like gifts from people, but the responsibility of your finance lies much on you.
Yeah. To me itself, I have some like a very similar experience. The moment I started thinking I need to sort out my finances, it was should be around that same time because I remember I think I was in Fudge then part two. Yeah, I think it was Fudge you all. So there was a day the first time somebody I kind of trusted. I would literally he knows about it. Literally my elder brother. I spoke to him and I was like, okay, the moment he told me no for one thing I asked of him, since that day, that was like, okay, I think I think it has gotten to the point where it's not like he's not ready to help. It's not like he doesn't have the money to give me at that point in time. But I'm happy he even said no to me at that point. And because that kind of created the sense that bro, you can't be dependent on people forever. You can't be dependent on people forever. That is one of the reasons I decided to leave Ife because literally I'm kind of comfortable in Ife. Parents are there, there's house for me to stay and all those kind of things. I decided to detach myself from it's not that I'm not avoiding my parents, but I just had to detach myself from that and say, okay, I think it's high time for me to stay alone and live alone and learn experience alone. I know what it means to be financially responsible for whatever it is that you're doing. I'm staying in a house alone. What does it mean to be able to take care of the house and make sure that everything in the house is perfectly done? Like you are taking responsibility for the house, taking responsibility for yourself, taking responsibility for your feeding, taking responsibility for your transport, taking responsibility for anything that you want to do without calling home and say, please, so what's it do about you? Sorry for those that don't understand Yoruba.
Mhm.
It has gotten there. Oh, please help me, oh guys, that kind of thing. It became like a determination to me, and it all started by somebody telling me no, right? It all started by someone saying no to me, and if it was a very very bad feeling. Actually, not. It was a very very bad feeling hearing no from someone, and I went, okay. I think I don't want to.
Mhm.
I don't want to be in that position ever again. And from there, I just started that. Okay, I think I
Yeah.
need to be financially responsible for myself. I need to start
Mm.
thinking,
Mm.
future. Like, yeah, I want to do this thing. Plan towards it. Don't wait that. There's this one person I can call that can help me sort things out myself. No, if you fail at it, learn again, pick it up, continue. That's kind of mentality that you are not. You are in this world to learn a lot of things. You're not in this. Yeah, of course, nobody gave back to me with silver spoon or golden spoon or whatever, diamond spoon, whatever it is. I felt like I just needed to just learn those things myself, learn it through life, and not saying somebody would hold my hand throughout the whole journey. No, I'm literally exposing myself to
Mhm.
failures, right? I'm exposing myself to failures, fail
Mm.
at it,
Mm.
relearn,
Mm.
learn from it, move forward, that
Mm.
kind of thing.
Mm.
And I think that is kind of helping me to shape things, to let you know that say you can't depend on people forever. I'm not saying you should not trust people, you should not families are there for you to be able to depend on them or not, but there has to be a stage where your family self should be the ones say, why no? sorry. Why I don't know. I don't
Mm.
understand why I keep saying Yoruba. Sorry, guys, please. Like, guy, don't you? We are your family. Won't you even ask us for anything? Don't you think we need to do something in your life? You know that kind of thing. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it
yeah,
should get to
yeah.
that, but they should be the one to be like, let us be involved. Let us be involved in what you are doing. Do you get my point? And that is
Mm.
the stage, and that
Mm.
that I want to be like. And I'll be the one say, don't worry, it's fine. I'm fine. There's no need. There's no problem. They'll be the one asking, I hope you're fine. I hope there's nothing. I hope you're not the extent that when they see these guys call up, "Hmm, something has happened." You know that kind of thing. And no, it's yeah,
Mm. Exactly.
it's just a something I just wanted to work, and it all started by someone telling me no. And I'm happy that person said it, and
Mm-hmm.
till now the person is still. That
But
I
still,
entered
people have told me no, that that paid me. He knows
mm.
that paid me, and I said that no, 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 no. This no, I'm taking it personal. I'm going
Thank
to.
you.
I have to make it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm grateful. I'm grateful
I
for the person,
mean,
and until now, it's not like because of that I hated the
mm-hmm,
person. We still talk. We see, of course, five person is family. Of course, I can't hate the person. So, like, I love the
yeah,
person, and I'm so
mm-hmm,
much appreciative for what the person did in my life. And yeah, guys, honestly,
yeah,
financial
yeah.
responsibility is a personal thing, and in as much as you want to be financially responsible, you must be ready to be able to do what all it takes to be financially responsible. And Joga has really kind of highlighted a lot of things for us. There's this last question I want to ask. It's quite funny. Um,
Mm-hmm.
do you think it's too early for me to start saving for retirement?
It's not. It's not.
Mm,
It's not. On a serious note, right? I worked my previous workplace. We had a retirement plan, like
mm,
so. It's like every month there was a part of my the fraction of my gross that goes my gross salary that goes into my retirement plan. So at first I was like, God, waiting me this like why will I be but it's sort of good,
mm,
and the reason for this is, you know, we as Africans, let me say Nigerians, we live on vibes, we live on hope. We are more
mm,
hopeful than plan oriented. You are traveling, check your car and do the basic things. You will not check, like to check your tire and check your car, you will not check it. I don't know if you take buses from car parks and whatnot, you notice this like
mm,
a driver might not even have fuel in the tank, but
mm.
you will see that they will say that somebody should pray in the. I'm not against prayer, of course. I'm a Christian, I pray, but somebody should pray.
Ah,
But the basic things that we need to do, we will not do them. We live on hope that Allah God will not allow like evil to befall us. But evil before people. That's the
mm.
thing. Evil actually before people, and even we before people faster when they don't plan. That is, it's like
Oh
you
God.
know, you know,
Mm,
the hard days will fall on somebody that does not have financial stability. Like, so
yeah.
you need to sort of, okay, say that, let's assume I don't, not everybody will turn out to be Elon Musk or turn out to be Amazon Bezos, right? Or turn
Mm,
out to be Sundar Pichai, right? Not everybody will turn out to be the billionaire in quotes. So, what if that does not happen? What if we don't like become the billionaires, right? Or what if like anything even happens, the industry tech becomes there's a global crash or the internet disappears today? Like, oh, I'm just giving instance, like the what ifs, right? So
mm,
is there any plan? Like, is there anything that can now sustain one, right, in the future? So retirement plan, I don't think anything that has to do with plan it's good. You could be flexible with it, right? You know, one of the things I'll talk about this quickly. And one of the things that discourages people, right, with what's it called? What did you call it now? Retirement plan
retirement plan. Yeah.
is shall I now be saving my retirement plan in naira?
Mm,
By that time, naira to dollar maybe will have 100,000 to my money will have depreciated. Just save it. If you could afford to create an account for if you know you are going to be disciplined, right? You can look for a fixed deposit domiciliary or a platform that allows you to maybe save in dollar. You could go ahead to save in another currency. Just ensure that you have a part of that. It's not too early. It's not too. There's nothing too early. Make a plan for
mm,
it. In fact, I know you're not married right now. I don't know, maybe this year we'll come and eat rice, but even if not this year, you can start making plans for school fees. Like, it's not
Mm,
like anything that has to do with plans around finance, nothing is too early. Like, you
mm,
don't, I might not be like, I want my children to go to, my children will not go to greatest Baba. I don't want to mention any school's name, oh, please. My children will not go to greatest Gogo. But it is just in our mind. We're just thinking that by next year I should have blown. I should have maybe
mm,
started any 2 million per month. We're just thinking, what if you create a plan, right? And you just children's school fees. I know you may not be married yet, but children's school fees, and you just maybe dole up like maybe 1 million naira there, or dole up like
mm.
10 million naira like for the next 2 months or 2 years. You're just planning that, okay, before I get married, okay, this 10 million naira will have at least been on ground, or this 5 million naira, or this 1 million naira, or this, I don't know, whichever school you want to check, like just plan it. I know a couple, right, who happened to be my mentor. Like, their child is still in, maybe what's it called, SS3. They already know the school the child is going to. They've saved up the school
No.
fees to the
Mm.
private university. They've saved it up. So coming in as a strike, they don't want that for their children. It's not as if they are earning much. They are doing okay, but they've saved up for the children. Like, and they are planning to raise their children to PhD level. It's not the one that the child will marry somebody and they say, okay, we will stop here. Oh, yeah, let your husband or your wife continue from. No, they said the
Mm.
PhD, they are going to sponsor all their children till PhD level. With plan, they have a plan on ground. So, I mean, you're not too young, sir. Like, I mean, I don't know, sir. Concerning that right, sir, let's think about it. You can
Very.
DM me and tell me plans. Let's come and
Yeah,
eat rice
very, very.
and bounce.
I'm truth be told, I'm actually looking at it like maybe I don't know, Shao, probably like maybe 2 years, 3 years. I'm giving myself
To
like
do what?
get married now. So go.
You are
Yeah.
not serious. The rice will be staying. Let's eat the rice. What's
What
this?
did
The
you
rice
like?
will be. Do you
You
like
know.
stay rice?
Ah, good. But who knows? It literally can be earlier than that. But it's just something that is just like
Mm,
if it's going
let's.
to happen, maybe like 2 3 years, give or take. You get so at least by that time one will
Okay.
be yeah kind of stable, be ready and all of that. So yeah, it's just it's there. It's a good plan. So retirement, yeah, it's not too late for it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Shogo, thank you so much. Honestly, yeah, you have shared a lot
Mm-hmm.
of knowledge, but I've gained a lot myself, and also I'm pretty sure my listeners that are listening also have gained a lot. And there's this a tradition that I'm starting on this podcast, and
Mm-hmm.
I just want to paint a scenario for you and tell me what you. So you have a round table dinner, right? And you can only invite 5 people, dead or alive. Now, who would you invite to the dinner, and
Mm-hmm.
what would you guys be eating?
I'm not good with. I'm not good with food names. I
Okay.
just eat.
Okay.
So
Let,
far, the
let's
food is good. I
okay.
just
Let's
eat.
let's talk
But
about the people. Yeah.
okay, the people,
Dead
five
or alive.
people. Calm down, calm down, calm down.
Mm.
Let's do our life first. So these 5 people could literally
Mm.
be, if I could invite literally anyone.
Anyone in the whole world.
Hmm, that's interesting. So let's go. I think um, I've I have some people that I've read about that I'm interested in. One, Andrew Carnegie. That's
Okay.
one. So we're supposed to be five, or I'm supposed to invite 5 people. Let me get that thing again.
Yeah, inviting 5 people. So okay, you're inviting 5 people plus just six. So
Okay, plus me
yeah.
6. Okay, okay. Andrew Carnegie. Um. Okay, so that's one. Um. I think I like Egin a lot. I read a lot of his books. That's two.
Okay.
Um. Let me invite my host, DOTAG.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Ife. That's three.
Okay.
Okay. Um, my parents are one. My parents are one.
No, it has to be one person. You can't invite both of
No,
them.
no, my parents are. What goes are joined together?
It's just it has to be one singular person.
So
So
I'm
you
not.
can.
You want me to cause problem? If my daddy or my mommy listens to this now, and now I hear that, no, no, I'm not invite them. Sorry, mom and dad, I'm not inviting you. I'm not going to invite any of my siblings too.
Oh
So,
man.
so I can't invite a group too. I can't invite
No,
like
no,
active devs now. Okay,
no.
so
You
sorry,
have
active devs. I can't invite any of you. So I have two people left, right?
yeah, just Super Bowl.
Okay. Let me go. Um, I think the two people that are left, and the reason I'm inviting these people is
Mm.
like I have reasons because I need something from them. You will be our host. You'll be able to siphon questions from them. So that is why you're there. So
Okay.
the third person would be um, Plato.
Plateau. Okay.
Fourth person right now, Plato. Yes, Plato. Plato.
The Greek
And the
guy.
fifth, yes,
Okay.
yeah, the philosopher. And the fifth person, dead or alive. Um, Let me quickly. I can't remember his name. I know the person I want.
Mm.
Um, he's the founder of Standard Oil. Ah, thank you, John D. Rockefeller. John
Oh,
D. Rockefeller.
Rockefeller. Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
that's
I
nice.
forgot. I
That's
forgot to say.
what
Yes, yes.
what 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 do what do you think? Like you get, I just don't know what you guys will be discussing in the whole meeting. It's just going to be a lot of great minds in that.
No, I invited them. Oh, they are my guests. So when you organize a dinner, right? They are your guests. So they have
Mm.
to we interact. It is my
It
own.
is your dinner.
It is for my benefit. It's my dinner. I am want to all of them one by one. Self, I'll be calling them to a private like 5 minutes. Let me just have
Right?
this with you. Let me go. 5 minutes.
Oh
So
god.
like those are the five people.
Yeah.
But what would we eat? See, I'm not good
Mm.
with food, so maybe when you bring bushro can give you multiple. But
Oh
I
god.
think I've eaten some interesting meals from maybe let's say
Mm.
Libya and Lebanon and stuff.
Mm.
So let me see. We could eat. I don't want to spoil names of food for from your audience from Libya and Lebanon. So let me leave it. Let me leave it. Let me leave it. Before I mispronounce.
It's fine. It's fine. The last guest that we had, that was the
Okay.
CEO of Jobberman. That was the
Mhm.
guest that we had last year, and he left a question for you, and I want to ask you that question. So he said,
Ha. See your job man is asking you question. I want me to
so he
which
left, he
kind of
left.
trap is this?
No, so it's a tradition I want to start on the podcast. So every guest will leave a question for the upcoming guest. So you also are going to be leaving a question for the
This is a
upcoming
trap. Please
guest.
don't.
So
You should have asked this question on the last call, please. I can't answer that question.
yeah,
This
wait,
question is
wait.
bigger than me.
Listen first. So the city of German wanna ask, why do you do what you do?
Okay. What I do a lot of things. Let us start. Like I
Mm,
do a lot of things, but I do what I do basically because I find sense of purpose and fulfillment in it. That's why I wake up every day and like I have like strength to like just stand up and continue to do like because I have many reasons to actually stop. Like there are co-workers that are not even good. There are like a lot of things that are wrong. Some days you're not feeling motivated, but like I find sense of fulfillment in what I do. And the
mm.
second thing is that see, so I can see food to eat. I need to eat. So if I don't do what I do, I will not eat.
Mm, mm,
So that I have food on my table, yeah. But
yeah,
on a serious note, like sense of purpose.
yeah. That's nice. So it's your turn to leave a question for the next guest. What question would you like to
All
ask the next
right.
person that will be on the DOTAG podcast?
Okay. So if you had a chance to change Nigeria, what would you do?
All
Ah,
right.
I'm assuming your
Yeah,
guest
yeah.
is
My guess is
Nigerian.
going to be
Okay.
in
Okay.
Nigeria.
Let me rephrase, right?
Okay.
Okay. If you had a chance to change something in the world, either something you could change in the past, you could go back in past to change something, or something you could change now, what would it be?
Okay. Okay. So that wraps up our episode today, Shogo. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing, for taking the time to be on this podcast show. Really do appreciate it. All our listeners,
So
thank
no,
you
no, thank you
guys.
for bringing me.
All our listeners, thank you guys for staying to the very end, to listen to this discussion. And still saying, like, 90% of us that are still listening to this podcast are not following. Please, just wherever platform you are listening to, either Spotify or Apple Podcast or Google Podcast or wherever form of podcast you are listening, podcast channel you are listening to this, please subscribe, follow, be a part of the whole community. Enjoy yourself and have a very, very, very splendid day. Bye.